the ability to take something that was really in a bad way. There were 2 huge dogs that lived here, and there was a tenant before I got here, and totally on my own without any help and little money, bring it up to a place where I'm actually complimented by people who come in and visit me. I'm actually probably going into a second property. I'm gonna rent my house out, and I have created memories here just because I've never done this before. And I know going into my second and even third property, which I will be doing, that I can do it. There's no question about it. Hi, I'm Michelle Gasior. I'm 54. I work in Oakland at a condominium. I've been there for 11 years, in the building for 17. I have 2 children, 32 and 33 years old, 2 boys. And I just bought my first house through Jeani in 2019. So I had an interaction with a landlord that I was with for 7 years, and it didn't go well. I decided, because of the rent that I was paying, that I could probably do much better based on a pretty good credit score and my job in purchasing a home, and I decided to start the process. My first experience with the whole idea of purchasing was difficult because I didn't know how to do it, and I'm by myself. So I had no point of reference at all to begin. And a lot of advice from a lot of different people can make you really confused really quick. I think you have to walk through the process yourself in order to understand the process. So I had too many opinions, and I decided that I would just take out a phone book and point, and I hit pay dirt. Jeani picked up the phone. I had a lot of questions that I didn't even know the answers to or where to begin with the process, and she was amazing. She was honest. She wasn't upset at all with my being upset, because I had no idea where to begin or where it was even going to end. So that was my very first experience with going into homeownership.
I really enjoyed Michelle's story, and all that she had been through in life. And I really wanted to make a difference for her homeownership. I realized her strong desire, and like I said, just everything she had been through. I was just like, I can make a difference in this person's life. I will help you with homeownership. You listen to what I'm telling you, and you work through the steps that I tell you, and you will be a homeowner.
I love Jeani Bello. My first impression was a gut instinct. I can't explain it to you. I'm not really sure why I felt the way I felt about Jeani immediately, but it was an instantaneous connection that I had with her. I felt like she got my angst. When other people in different professions that have to do with buying a house have no idea what you feel personally, I felt like Jeani not only knew it, but kind of maybe knew it before I even knew it, because she addressed things with me that I was thinking of that I didn't even ask her. So I absolutely had a connection instantaneously when I met Jeani at the door. There was no question about it.
I remember meeting with Michelle and her desire for the homeownership, but yet some confusion on questions and where to turn, and lots of things that she needed to learn, that I kind of had to educate her, teach her, and help her through the process so that she would be ready for her homeownership. But her willingness to learn and her desire were just so engaging.
Yes, Jeani took plenty of time, because I'm tough and I'm a hard consumer, and I absolutely knew what I wanted without actually knowing how to go about getting it. So she took time and she answered my questions. Jeani would call me. I wouldn't even have to call Jeani. Jeani would just call me to check in on me. And at that moment, I realized this is somebody that's going to contact me, and so I can then write questions down that I may have as I go through. And sure enough, Jeani would call or text and say, "Hey Michelle, what's going on? You need anything?" It was amazing. Yeah, no question about it. She linked me with anything I needed. Her application to use was flawless. There was no issues with it at all. I have a little bit of tech savvy, but I had no problem with it. If there were any questions that I had about my specific loan, I'm by myself again, so I didn't have a lot of resources. all I had to do was pick up the phone or text Jeani, and she was back to me in seconds. It was enjoyable for me to work with Jeani and Liz, but it wasn't enjoyable for me to go through the process, only because I get in my own head and I overthink things. I go really deep and I drive myself crazy. In the meantime, I had someone like Jeani and Liz to kind of level me and keep me focused in the right direction. Every day, if something needed to be turned in or dealt with, there was a text, there was a voicemail message that this needs to be done, let's move it along. And I felt grateful after the experience, because there are some loan officers who do nothing. You pretty much are on your own. It was amazing. I've decided to go into a refinance with Jeani, and that decision was based on the fact that I wanted to get out of my PHFA loan, because I have other plans moving forward pertaining to purchasing property. Buy property, God ain't making no more. And so I decided, with my credit score, which obviously climbed because I bought my home, that I could probably get a lower rate. And again, I used Jeani, of course, and I went down almost 2 full points.
Michelle's always had a desire, to own, after even the one home, that she wanted to own a couple more homes. So when interest rates came back, Michelle had reached out talking to me about, would this make sense for her to refinance? And again, if we're gonna do a loan, it's gotta make sense, and we gotta save money, and the whole thing's gotta look great. So, and we reviewed the file, and we went over that, and we were able to save her, quite a bit of money, reduce the interest rate extremely by 1 or 2 points, I believe, if I remember correctly. And that helps her on her journey, because I know that with Michelle, we're going to do a couple more homes. This is, we refinance, and then she's going to buy another property and one after that.
I recommend Jeani to friends all the time. I work in a high-end condo, and I come into contact with a lot of people who are looking to buy and sell properties, and I would absolutely recommend Jeani and Liz to anybody that I come in contact with that would have the initiative to do what I'm actually starting to do. So yes, I recommend Jeani all the time.
If you enjoyed our video, please give us a like, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button for future content on mortgages, finances, and more.